Hey there, folks. So, last episode we ended off working on the code for our animation blueprint, AnimBP, and the state machine that we were going to be needing to go through. We got that all set up, and we added in this function recalc anim state, which is what we were using to, let me just find it here. Go through and determine which animation state we should be in. Between episodes, I did do some digging into animation blueprints because I realized I don't know enough, and I did need to do some additional digging to figure out, well, just what it is I needed to do to achieve what I was hoping for. Now, with that, we do actually have a couple of options. I actually went in and I did some cleanup in our animation blueprint here. If we go in here, you can see I removed everything I had done. So we have, let's just do this. I'm going to go unarmed. And melee. I'm just going to put 3 states in here. So we've got a situation where we could have our animation blueprint set up where we have these states that we switch between within the state machine. Helps if I draw these back and forth. And from there we could go through and like have our play animation for this state, play animation for that state. And the big issue I had with this is like, okay, we enter one-handed melee, and then we're going to need to have, let's just go, I don't even think that's going to work. So then we need to sort of like recreate this and then have our various different states there, and that would cause a very huge clustered mess. The other thing I found is, and I haven't quite figured out the full setup for this, is there is a node that is actually covering exactly what I was hoping for, except there's no animation state. Like there's no sheath, unsheath state animation play, which is something else we'd want to do. But in here, it's blend by, actually I can just go e-equip. Where is it? Blend pose e-equipment as a e-equip anim state. Now, this node itself initially, and this is what threw me off, is there's nothing really much in here. And I wasn't quite sure on how I wanted to do this. Well, and then I was like, okay, well, we've got our current anim state. I'll grab that, plug that in here. Okay, well, not sure. The issue is you need to right click, and you can see we have all of our different enum related pins down here. So if we go through and add these all in this blend poses node, excuse me, what this does is it allows us to have multiple states that all plug into what would be, I'm going to disconnect this and move it over here, our animation blueprint, and we can switch between these as needed. And ultimately, like, I don't know if this is going to be the right way, because we obviously need to have different animations play, or I want to have different animations play to sort of transition between the different state machines. But with that, state machine, I'm trying to figure out where the, no, it's not what I want. At the top or at the bottom. where is the new state node? State machine, set state, state machine. So, okay, now we've got that. So we go pistol. And we'd go through and connect all of these up. Now, obviously, there's a lot to do here, because we have our default pose. Well, I also noticed this. It's one or the other. So I'm just going to duplicate the default and just call that default. And then we have default, unarmed, pistol, so on and so forth. And if we looked in that, our unarmed, and then because we duplicated our default, is in here. And then pistol, we have basically another entire state machine. So that helps clean things up. But at the same time, and this is because we have nothing in here, so we're just going to go state. And that'll fix that. So this is sort of exactly what I was looking for, with the exception that it doesn't provide us with... just because I haven't connected these pins yet. It doesn't provide us with exactly what we're looking for as regards to the sheathing, equipping weapons. So what I'm going to do though quickly, and I'm going to pause the video to do all of this, is I'm just going to quickly go through, duplicate this pistol entry for all of the missing ones, and then I will be right back. Alright, so I set up all those anim states. I'm just going to go through, I'm trying to figure out how. Can you reroute these? Yes, you can. Okay. I'm going to clean this up a little bit while I talk. So, in addition to the, I'm trying to think, this different anim states we've got here, you can see we also have the blend time. And what that is I had to read into it because I wasn't even 100% sure. That is how long it takes to transition from one state to another. That's all that is. So it could be, this takes 0.1 of a second. So 100 milliseconds. And that's actually what it defaults to, and that's where I'm going to leave things, because I don't know exactly how I want to adjust that. So now this is all well and good. We have our different animation states. Great. Everything is pretty basic right now. You can see we just open up MISC. It just goes into state. As I said, I just copied the pistol over. Haven't done anything with it. In here, you can see we still have our leaning logic. This has been modified because we only have the 3 bones that it's exposed to. We'll find our skeleton. Actually, might want to fix that. Yeah, spine 1, 2, 3, and neck. Yeah, okay. Going back to our anim graph. So we have our lean logic in there. That's not a problem, but we do need a way to deal with this current anim. So we're going to go to our event graph, and you can see in here we have our character reference. The owning pawn is referenced as a TF character. In here, we've got our setting our ground speed. Really, that's just how fast we're moving. If we should be moving, this is for the purpose of, I can't remember what that one's for. Should move. Do we even use that in our anim graph? I think that's from an IK rig, or the control rig setup that is being used. Yeah, I don't even think we use that. Find references by name. Yeah, it's not even moved anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. Actually, no, for now I'm going to leave that. I don't want to break anything. So, and then down here we have is falling, and what I'm going to do is just down here, where do we have, actually no, I'm going to do it on the end here. So what did we name that function? TF character H, TF character header, get new equip anim state. Okay. And we can just go and do this. And what that should do is, now obviously this isn't the full logic that I'm going to want to implement, because again, like I said, I want to deal with sheathing and unsheathing. As this stands right now, it's going to be like instant jump. So, but this will allow us to like add the weapon to our hand, change our animation. At this early stage in development, that's more than enough. You don't need to worry about the fanciness of whole string sheathing, drawing a weapon. I do want to worry about that, obviously, because it looks kind of jank without it, but this will give us that basic animation state change that we're looking for. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Now, with that, because we were just doing this, I want to explain, because we added previous equip anim state and new equip anim state. Excuse me, I'm moving my microphone here again. Because we have these, we are still going to use them. They are in our... We've got a complete anim state change, things like that. What we need to do, well, actually, we don't need to do anything with this right now. This is just for future proofing. I actually got ahead of myself because, well, I won't say I got ahead of myself, but because we're not doing it all within a single massive state machine, we're using multiple different state machines. We don't need that logic right now. It will prove useful in the future when, again, I get around to working on the whole string sheathing, drawing weapons, so for those animations. But so we now have all that set up. This is pretty much everything we need to do there. What we next need to do is going to be our animation setup. So because we have that logic in place in our dev weapon for the baseball bat, we're going to work on the one-handed melee to start with. And what I'm also going to be doing is, so I'm just going into the project folder here quickly. Actually, I'll bring this over. So just in our animation section, I'm going to go blend space. Animation, blend space. And this is where we're going to go TFH because we need our skeleton. This is going to be BS one-handed idle. Open that up. Take a quick look through here. Okay, so there would be a animation there, but let's have a look. I think we want these Anim Warrior ones. Yeah, so you can see he's got his hand in a fist there. So we want our idle warrior, or warrior idle. So we're going to go back to our blend space. Idle. Walk. And run. Now, for reference, we are just going to quickly hop back to our other blend space, and I'm just moving it off the screen so I can deal with it quickly. And you can see we've got its scale of 0 to 500, and it's 125. Okay, so horizontal axis 500. You can see it moves all of our stuff over. Select our node, we want 500. Select our walk node. Input back. Yeah, thank you. 125. And we're going to move our... Okay, we just control. So you can see we're running. I just noticed a weird, what looked like a glitch in his hand animation. That walk is too slow. Yeah, right there you can see the hands in this weird position. Oh, that's the transition. So 125. Oh, that is weird. Yeah, his hand's messed up there. No, there's all the without weapons. So, well, I'm going to leave this blend space as that. Obviously, I'm not an animator. I'm not going to get too particular over this. So, let's close of that. We have that blend space we just created. So, I'm going to go grab that. In here, idle. Actually, sorry. Idle move. Bring that in. Skeleton is not compatible. What? Oh, I'm not using... I haven't retargeted it yet. Can we change that? Assign skeleton. TFH. Accept. Okay, there we go. So this is renamed to our... Oh, sorry, reparented to our skeleton. And there we go. All right, so in here, I screwed up. We didn't name this. So speed. Save that. We're going to go back to our blend space. And in here, where is it? Just remove that pin. And ground speed. All right, so we've got that set up there. And then I'm just going to go through and unarmed, one-handed. Okay, so we're going to go back to one-handed. And actually, at the same time, I'm going to go back in here. We're going to need to do this sort of a transition as well. So we have a jump, in air, and land. So let's add that. These are pretty simple in comparison. So again, I'm just going to try and copy some of these. Double click on your transition node. It is falling. So you just pull that one in there. Connect you up. Jump is playing the jump animation. That's fine. All right. So let's go check our animation. All right, we've got one right there. I've found it. So one-handed, we go into jump. Drag that in. Now you want to make sure this isn't looping. Next one up, you can see time remaining on that is less than 0.1 seconds. Then we can enter out. So we're going to do the same thing here. Time remaining. And this is the one we got here, Anim Warrior Jump. And that's because I have it selected in the content browser. So I'll just show you a quick. Apparently the content browser is all resized. So that's the animation I just grabbed. Because that's selected. Select that. And we go less than, not 0.1. That we can go into the jump state. All right, go back. This one's pretty easy in air. So let's take a look at these. So that is the jump up. So actually this is a jump and land. So we need to handle this a little better. So, okay, let's pause here. We want this to scrub through this, go to 20. So we want to play the first 20 seconds of, the first 20 frames. This is going to get interesting. So we're going to go back, jump. Time remaining ratio. Okay, so I think we want to use this one. Okay, time remaining is less than, so that would be 10%. So if we go back in here, this is 50 frames, so that's 40%. So less than 60. Hopefully that's what I want. Try that one. What are we in? Miss. Oh, I don't care about that. Okay, so that's that. Now the big one is here. I might actually have to do some animation modifiers because actually no. What? Because we want from 20 to 25 to loop. We want to sort of, yeah, we need a jump. So let's see, do we have an in-air? Jump without weapon. No. That's the one we're using. Idle. Well, what I can do with this actually, because I don't want to keep dragging this episode on longer than I need to. Stop that so it doesn't distract me. I'll walk through the retarget process because I didn't actually cover that last episode. So we're going to go down here to our mega post-apocalyptic characters because that's where they are. Where is it? Fall loop. Actually, let's just quickly check. Do we have a fall? Yeah, we only have that one, so nope. All right, so back here, find our animation, right click on it. Retarget animation is not the one you want. That is, as you can read there in the little tooltip, duplicate and retarget animation asset to a different skeleton. Works in sequences, whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to replace. And the reason for this is it actually, as you'll see here in a second, you click OK, it works. Go here, replace skeleton. I'm going to grab this. Well, it doesn't do anything because there's no bones on this one actually. Sorry, that's or is it retarget? No, replace. So yeah, retarget creates a duplicate. I'm getting rid of yeah, okay, that's we'll deal with that shortly. I'm getting rid of that, so I'm not too worried. So let's just get rid of misc in air. Nope. Content browser it over. So I'm just going to move that into the animations here. I do know, sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now. I'm going to go to anims. Just select that and back into our anim graph. Sorry, I am. So in here, sorry, now I've got that. You want to loop animation. So this is for your fall. That's so while you're in the air, go back to one-handed. In here, which is our transition from in air to landed, its grab is falling, not Boolean. So if is falling is true, so if it's false, this is going to spit out true, which allows us to transition over. And then in here, we're actually going to want to play jump. And I'm going to open this animation up so we know where to start it from. Now this is going to look a little janky, but we want to start it from 25. So start position, the length of sequence, start position, the length of sequence to use size when looping, play will still jump back to the beginning. So 25. And that should start it on the 25th frame. It'll play the landing animation, and then we go through. So what I'm going to do, just because this blueprint isn't going to, or anim blueprint, I'm going to say, isn't going to compile, I'm going to disconnect everything but our one-handed melee, because that is the state we're going to go into. So these errors, this compilation errors should stop. What are we in? One-handed. Oh, that is going to be time remaining. I missed one here. Okay, so copy that over. All right, there we go. We have a build. Now we do have the notes saying are being ignored, and that is because if we go back to our anim graph, as I said, we just disconnected all of these. So all right, so in here you can see we have our hand closed. Now I'm going to switch this back quickly because I want to just explain the reason we're T-posing here is if we go into our unarmed, idle walk, this blend space isn't working. And that is because, go back in here, clear this out, you can see that blend space is targeted. You can't see me pointing at the screen, but you can see skeleton game mega post apocalyptic. So replace skeleton TFH, and you can see it's replaced all of the skeleton. No, it hasn't. Yeah, so that is the right one there. Okay. Why are you not? TFH. I'm just going to quickly replace these. Save those. Open you up. Oh, what am I doing? It's over here, isn't it? ABS idle lock. Yeah, and that one isn't been retargeted properly. Replace skeleton, TFH. TF character. Okay, let's save these. And I may just have to recreate this blend space. Yeah. Okay, that idle isn't working. What idle are you using? idle. Okay, I broke the animation there, obviously. So we're going to go back, take a quick look at this. I'm just going to search idle. That one. All right. Move you, and that is that one. Make sure 0, 0. Okay. Compile, save. Open up our AnimBP again quickly, and idle. Where's the asset browser? We want ABS. Yeah. Anim blend space. There we go. And just quickly remove this node. Compile and save. And you can see there we're now, if we go and change the default of our anim state, you can see there's a very quick shift between the two. It's not an instant one, but it's sort of like blended. So now on that note, actually, let's go back to our anim graph. So that is our unarmed. I'm going to change that to 1, and our one-handed melee to 1. I want to see if we can actually notice a visual difference there. So maybe not. So put these back to 0.1. Anyways, folks, so we're at the 32-minute mark. This episode I know is a little boring. We just covered some of the basics of an animation blueprint. I needed to get this out of the way, though, because I wanted to explain this node and then how to get some of the stuff set up, just because, well, it's a little more complicated than just going through, and I wanted to explain things. Next episode, we're going to take this a little further. We're going to have our attack, start working on like attacking and things like that, just to make sure well, not to make sure, but that's going to get us our next stage going through. And then once we're at a point where a player character is able to equip a weapon and then like hit something with it, I'm going to be happy with the progress on the game. And we'll be able to move on from there and start dealing with some of the more complex stuff. That's pretty much all the core foundational items are going to be added in at that point. And then it's going to be expanding, tweaking. Obviously, we're going to be dealing with 8 different anim states we need to deal with. Actually, we don't need to deal with default. This is a catch-all garbage one we're not going to be using. But anyways, folks, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you for watching. If you do have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or you can hop over onto the Discord and ask away there. But thanks again, and I will see you in the next episode.